Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Tuplex, and I have been a very busy guy lately. We're getting close to our goal of 500 science a minute with expensive recipes, and I have to admit I'm getting kind of anxious to get there. So I spent the last couple days doing a lot of off-camera playing, just trying to get things set up so that we can reach our goal. So let me show you what I've got so far. Let's see, what have I done? Well, first of all, I added more power. So I added a fourth reactor setup because we were starting to run low. So right now we're using 2.4 gigawatts, and that's about half of our capacity. So we're doing fine on electrical capacity for now. And I also put in some landfill here on this lake so that we have plenty of space to add another one when we need it. I also set up red and blue circuits. This is in the same area that it was before. I decided just to keep it here. We've got a lot of extra space here that we don't really need, but I went ahead and set it up in the same place. I did relocate these rail stations to bring everything closer together so that the bots wouldn't have to travel as far. As you can see here, the bots actually have a rather long travel distance. If that becomes a problem, I think what I'll probably do is move the blue circuits down here. I don't know, that might not be entirely necessary. But in any case, we bring in green circuits here, or at least we will once it loads up. We bring in plastic, red circuits load here, copper unloads here. And then I used that new build that I showed you guys a couple episodes ago, where I have one copper wire machine feeding two red circuit machines. Because what we found is that when we had one copper wire machine feeding 6, the bots were just not able to keep up with it. So this way all the copper wire goes into a chest so that the red circuit machines are essentially fed directly. There's no bots involved in moving the copper wires, only moving the copper plates. Even then, I've found that the bots are having a bit of a hard time keeping up. I have 1,000 bots here. But as you can see, there are a lot of chests. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 chests on each row that the bots have to deliver parts to and from. So one thing I did as an experiment here on this first row is I set it up so that the copper plate only feeds in from one side to the copper wire machine instead of feeding in from both sides. So that way there will be fewer places where the copper plate has to be delivered. And I'm thinking that should help a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like right now we're full on red circuits, so we're not producing any. And then up here I've got the blue circuits, again all fed by robots. I have a train bringing sulfuric acid from the from the plastic space, or no, from the uranium outpost. This is where we're making acid for the rocket base as well, and that's still plugging along happily. Don't see any stop coming there. Yeah, so that is important. So we've got... Oh, the other thing I did was on plastic, I added 4 more plastic assemblers because the calculations tell me that we need 10 to feed the rocket base as well as the science factory. So I set that up. And as you can see, we're having a hard time getting the coal delivered quickly enough. So I may convert this to belts. Or maybe I just need more bots. There's only 200 bots there. I suppose we could use more. Back when we started, these miners were all a lot closer, so that could be another solution, is just adding more bots, because it's not going to get any better as we move farther away from the coal patch. Actually, let me take a look at that plastic, at the plastic requirements. Where is plastic? Okay, I don't see it. Okay, I don't have racket parts here. Or do I? Okay, here we go. Here's plastic. No, that's not everything that we need. Oh, that's only for red. That's only for science. Okay. Well, anyway, I've kind of mucked up the my helmod setup here, so it's hard to see exactly what I need. But I think I took out. No, I do have the rocket parts here. No, that's not right. Okay. Well, in any case. I might be able to bring in a blue belt of coal and feed them that way. I think it could be fast enough. So that's one way that we could help fix that situation. Okay, and then finally, and I'm sorry that I did all this without you guys. If you want to complain, go ahead. I added another rail line to bring in space science from the rocket base, because I had forgotten about that when we set this up previously. There's not enough room to add another line up here, so I just brought it down to the other side, and then I had to add some extra tracks coming in here. But this looks really cool, and it does work. I've seen it work. And then, as you can clearly see, I went ahead and set up the science production area and the labs as well. So I put in 60 labs. That was just a guess. I'm not sure if that's enough or too many, but we'll see. Once we're making 500 science packs, we'll see if we're consuming 500 science packs. And if not, we can add more labs. You know, if we're producing small bursts that are greater than what we're consuming, then we'll know that the labs are the bottleneck. But for now, I have 60 labs. And then down here is where all the science gets made. So I'm making red science with gears up here, so gears and copper. Then I have inserters and belts for the green science packs. I have more gears, I have pipes. These are actually for the engines that we need for blue science. And then you can see I got speed modules fit in various locations for the high-tech science packs. Copper wires. I have 2 machines making mining drills. These have a hard time running because they need a lot of items delivered. So one thing that I am going to change about this area is I'm going to go through and see which are the items that require the highest number of items to be delivered to them. And I'm going to rearrange it so that those are all closest to the storage chests and the roboports. So for example, you know, if we look at science packs, like the production science packs, they only need 3 items to be delivered for every science pack. So that one I'll probably leave way down here because that's easy for the bots to handle. Now these guys, they need 30 copper cables, so that's 31, 30, they need 35 items, which is a lot. So I'll probably move them closer, although I am making those here. But the mining drills for sure are going to be front and center, because I want them to be close to the iron. Actually, it would be so much better if the iron was on the other side. I might be able to force that to happen if I just start emptying chests. Let's see, the electric mining drills, for example, those take, yeah, 25 items each. So I'm gonna create another blueprint down here where I just rearrange everything, and then I'll tear it down and then re-blueprint the whole area. But until then, I do want to demonstrate this for you. None of it's running now because there are no more space science packs. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to send my train down there. And then I'm going to launch this rocket so that we get some science packs, and then we'll ride the science pack train down to the science area. And then we can watch it all working. So this train I set up to wait here until there are a greater than 0 quantity of science packs, and we have 5 or more seconds of inactivity. So that'll mean that all the science packs that we have over here have been dropped off in the train, and then once that happens, it'll take off. Alright, so that'll be 1,000, obviously. Hopefully there won't be any long pauses that would cause the train to leave before they're all in the car. Alright, and looks like the last of them are on their way. There we go. And now we wait 5 seconds, and then we should take off. And this is a very speedy train, having only 1 car and only half a stack of stuff. Alright, so we finally got all the infrastructure in place to make the science. We just can't make it fast enough right now because I don't have all the smelting turned on. I still need more steel. I probably need to rerun all my calculations in helmod because it looks like it's messed up. Alright, so science packs get delivered, and then we should see the labs start to churn out science. Alright, if we look at production, looking at consumption, you know, we're consuming, yeah, let's go back to 5 seconds. Well, we're consuming 1,000 a minute now, but yeah, so I think maybe that means I could get by with about half as many labs. I could always remove this top row of labs and see how it goes. Again, that'll be less work for the bots to do, and less electricity being used. Alright, so here's everything running. It's pretty glorious, if I do say so myself. Yeah, and down here is where I'm having an issue. The factories are taking a long time to build. They build extremely quickly, and you know, there's no productivity modules in here. And they take, what, 17 items each to run. So I might have to put like 5 or 6 of these just so that we can deliver parts fast enough. I don't know. We'll have to see. These are probably the worst. We need 35 items for each one of these. You know, in addition to the, what, 35 items for these. But again, I'm making copper wire here, and the bots, you know, they're just running locally here. There's no other place where copper wire is needed. It might also be a good idea just to put copper wire machines in between these. You know, and have them feed directly. That'll kind of mess up the spacing of the beacons, however. But we can always just add more assemblers if we need to. Of course, the bigger we make this, the farther away it's going to be from all the materials, and you know, so it's kind of tough to get this totally optimized. So it's running, but as you can see, it's far from running at full speed. We got a lot of red lights here. But it does work. Let's see what we're producing here. Yeah, so we're making close to 300 a minute with this setup. It might even be closer to 250. So we're about halfway there, and we need a lot of optimization. Actually, let's look at consumption again. Now, consumption might just end up being tied to whatever the slowest one is to be produced. Yeah, consumption looks about the same. When it was stopped and then it started right away, we were consuming about 1,000 a minute. So I think I will do what I mentioned. And I'm going to take out this third row of labs. I'll leave everything else there. Actually, I'll take out the speed modules too. Or the beacons, I mean, because those use up a lot of power. And we'll see how we do with that. That'll probably still be enough to consume 500 a minute. And then, you know, that'll be 20 fewer places for the bots to have to drop stuff off. And then let's go ahead and... Do I have enough room? No, I don't, but we can fix that. Actually, I don't even need those substations. Alright, so let's put the roboports there. Pick those up. Okay, make sure I didn't pick up any of the logistics bots. Okay, so I think that might be better. And let's take a look. Whoops, sorry, I didn't want that. I want my grid. All right, so from the center, if we consider this track to be more or less the center, we're about a whole chunk away from the center to the farthest of the chests here on this side. From here, we're almost 2. So with this more compact lab setup, maybe some of the science packs that use fewer items could even be on the other side of the labs. Or we can move the labs back, you know, and we could put like red and green science over here on this side, for example. And that way we can get all the rest of it closer. In fact, I quite like that idea. I think I'm going to do that. Let's go ahead and do that now. It wouldn't take too long to pull that off. All right, so we'll blueprint all of this. And then we're going to rip it all up. At least temporarily. And I need to get rid of science packs. Yeah, okay. I got a bit of a problem here. Let me find an empty storage chest. I'll just use this one down here. I'll throw my beacons in there. Those take up a lot of space. Okay. No, actually, let me put those back for now. Okay. Yeah, so... Oh my god. And I just cleared my blueprint. Crap. Okay, well, we're gonna have to recreate the labs. Oh well. Alright, so we could actually copy this whole thing, except for this stuff. I'll leave these on that side. Actually, let me try this again. We want to take those out. Alright, but I want to keep the lights and the power poles. And I want to keep those gears as well. I think I'm probably overproducing gears with this setup. Let's see, is that correct? No, I think that is aligned. Yep, that looks about right. Let me grab my beacons again. Okay, we need to bring in some power. All right. And I don't have power to those beacons on the bottom. I need to leave a space. All right, tear it up. Let's do this again. Okay, this way we can put some power poles on this side as well. All right, so, you know, my thinking is at this point that once I get... Let's get rid of some of this stuff. You know, once I get this build optimized, then basically the rest of what we need to accomplish is just going to be feeding it. Okay. Which means that I'll just need to start making more outposts. I'll need to finish enabling the rest of the smelting, because we're not using all of the copper and iron and steel smelting yet. Actually, I have steel smelting that still needs to be set up. We do need more furnaces over there. But I did want to get this running first so that we can at least start to do some more research. One thing that I think is going to help a lot is to get another level or two of robot speed. I think that should help us out quite a lot to keep the bases running more quickly. All right, so I'll leave the labs here. Let me get rid of these gears. Okay, so now I can pick all of this up. Actually, let me whitelist the power poles and the lights as well, because I do want those to stay. And I'll pick this all up except for those pipes and speed modules. Okay, so apparently I misunderstand the difference between whitelist and blacklist. I'm thinking that whitelist means that's what I want to select. But I guess when you're deleting, it has an opposite meaning, which is not confusing at all. Okay, so now we can move up here. I'm gonna put, actually I'll put all, I'll put this whole thing here. Now, are those, yeah, those gears are for the mining drills and the assembly machines. What about these? Those need a lot of items too. Yeah, so let's move all of that up there. Yeah, we'll start with that. And let's see how that does. Okay, and then I'm going to remove it from here. If I can. Okay, so what are the other big consumers? Engines, not really. 4 items a piece and 10 seconds to make them. Those are not too bad. This is really not too bad either. What about these engines? No. Blue takes 1, 1, and 1. Yeah, I mean, the rest of this is really not too bad. The engines are probably a good candidate to move. Maybe the speed modules. No, the engines are fine. Yeah, honestly, everything else is not too demanding on resources. Again, we got these copper cables, but I mean, I guess those are consuming a lot of copper. But I don't think there's enough room to put these in the top row. Well, there could be if I move something else to the bottom row, I suppose. Let's see. Oh yeah, that actually just fits. Okay, so let's move that up there. And then we'll get rid of that. And I'm full again. Okay, so that looks good. And then, oh, how about these furnaces? Yeah, the furnaces should be up in that top row. The furnaces should be up there. Let's see, we've got too many lights and not enough poles. Alright, well my light setup is going to be screwed up now, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, why don't I move... Let's move some of these blue circuits down. We could put those down here. One, two, three, four. And yeah, my whole repeating light scheme is messed up. Oh well. 5. Yeah, because these don't take too much at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those can come out. No, that's 6. There's 5. rid of some of this extra stuff. Okay, stone bricks, we don't need those. I've picked up some bots that I don't really want. Okay. And then we can put stone furnaces up here. And remove those. Okay, and we need a pole there. All right. And then I suppose it doesn't matter a whole lot if purple science is split into 2 sections. And I've got room for 4 machines up there. So we'll move 4 up there. No, actually only 3. Only 3. Okay, and then we can move these 3. Right. Okay, and then we can pick up all of that. I'm really accumulating a lot of stuff here. Okay, and we can pick up these. And then we just need to get some more power for the ones that need it. Which includes all of these. Actually, maybe a substation would be a easier solution in this case. Then we can get rid of all those. Okay, not that one. There we go. Okay. So I think this ought to work better. And then we can get rid of the last 4 of those modules. Okay. No, you know what? I'm going to need those again. I'm going to need them for the labs. All right, so now we can set up the labs again. All right, which I so clumsily screwed up. All right, so we want 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 40 laps now instead of 60. So let's just set up these power poles. There we go. Take out that light. Alrighty then. So is that... Yeah, that's right. Alright, so it's 1, 10, 20. If I'm not mistaken, that's 20. It is. Okay. And then we put productivity modules. This is probably like the most important place to put productivity modules. And then I have 1 requester chest on each one with a fast inserter. And I think I was requesting 4 of each science pack. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set this up over here. I'll set it up here first, and then I'll blueprint it. And I am requesting the military ones too, even though we're not using them. There are a few in the system. But this way, if and when I decide to bring in some military packs, everything will be set up to make use of it. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to do any more military research. Okay. So let's print that. There, and then we can paste those down like that. All right, and then I was using substations here, and we can fortunately plop those in. No, actually we need one there. And I think if we make them, I think if we put a maximum distance, everything's gonna fit. All right, and let's put a light, I don't know, let's say every other one. Okay, and then we need another row of beacons. And then we need another copy of that whole setup. Like so. Okay. Oh, and then we need another row of roboports so that the bot network reaches. So put those down too. And I'm stuck. There we go. Okay, so let's go and launch another rocket. I know I'm running long, but I'd like to see if this runs any better with this new setup here for the science packs with the redistribution. So we'll launch a rocket, get another 1,000 science packs. And in fact, I'm going to set it to auto launch now so that we can finish mining productivity 23, and then I'm going to do another level of robot speed, at least another level. And it would be cool if you could set this remotely somehow. But as of now, you do have to come to the rocket base. Alright, so we can sit here and watch it go. See our science packs come in. And then we'll go once... Okay. Yeah, they're on the way, so let's head over there now, because we're a little bit slower than that train anyway. Yeah, so like I said, next steps are going to be, I think, setting up a lot of mining outposts. I'm still, I guess I'm doing okay with iron. This one is almost mined out. I've got two other ones. Copper, I should be okay for a while. But I'm probably going to need more oil. I'm probably going to need more iron. You know, like I said, I still need to set up steel. I need to get more trains going to the smelting areas, etc., etc. So I'm going to let the science run while I work on that stuff. Hopefully, I won't run out of iron while I'm in the middle of it and have a massive shutdown of the plant. Or the factory, I should say. That would be bad. But I think I'll be okay. Actually, it's probably copper that I'm going to have some throughput issues with. Yeah, this one is almost mined out. This one over here, iron 5, this is getting very low. That's pretty much done. That's not going to last much longer. Okay, so here's our science. Let's see how it works with this new setup. Yeah, let's look at production. So consumption, yeah, consumption now is around 650. So I think this is going to be enough Actually, a little bit more than enough. Maybe we could even take out a few more labs. But that should be enough to consume the 500 a minute that we're hoping to produce. And let's see if we do any better now on these guys over here. Yeah, see, it just goes like hell for a minute and then it stops. I think part of the problem is that we can't feed fast enough with the inserters. For the miners, I even set up 2 requester chests instead of 1, and I think it's still not fast enough. Yeah, so I might need to just either set these up in their own little space surrounded by requester chests, or maybe I just need to set up, you know, maybe just double or triple the number of machines that I have making these things so that they can do it fast enough. I do have a little bit of room here. I could move the speed modules back down to the bottom since they're not terribly resource intensive, but aside from those things, everything else seems to be running okay, but not great. So it's going to need some more work. Okay, here comes one of the iron trains to refill. So release the first one and not the second, which is what we wanted. And then as soon as the inventory got in there, the release signal got turned off. So this this train control network is working very well. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. At least at the pace we're running right now, the trains, you know, the trains are coming in fast enough. They unload quickly. They get out of the way. And then all the other resources are standing by, ready to go. So I'm pretty happy with that. The bots don't seem to have any problem keeping things going up here. These are all backed up, which is good. So yeah, it's just the gold science packs are having trouble. Although I don't know why they would be. Seems like they have plenty of copper circuits and no processing units, and those are right here. And we're not even using all of our robots. Not even close. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I need to request larger quantities of this stuff. No, this thing's... What the heck? Oh, yeah, it's... I have a fast inserter there? That's insane. Who the heck designed this thing? Okay, that should be much better. Oh, you know, another thing I wanted to point out is that I've set most of these machines, except for the gears and some of the stuff that we use a ton of, I set most of these to produce on demand. So I don't store anything in the provider chests. I set it up so that they're only enabled when the item is less than or equal to 0. And when you do that, it's only going to run when there is an active request in the logistics system from a requester chest. If you look at the contents here, you can see kind of flashing around the bottom, you can see those negative numbers. That means that there's a request, but there's no item to fill it. And so these are only going to run when there's an active request. And I did that just so that we wouldn't accumulate tons and tons of stuff. in here, and most of the items I set up that way, and that is working pretty well too. It's really the first time I've tried to set it up like that. Now again, the copper circuits and gears, I just have them make a whole stack because that doesn't take a lot of resource. But everything else I have set up this other way. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted fast inserters on the output and stack inserters on the input. And I got that reversed. I wonder if I have that problem anywhere else. Okay, here I'm doing that too, but it's still fast enough. Yeah, so we should have stack inserters going in. Oh, okay, this is an issue. There you go. Could use some electricity. Okay. Yeah, lube with barrels is working pretty well. That's a first for me also. Okay, yeah, this is messed up. Where are the... Oh, okay. Yeah, that means these other purple ones are messed up too. Alright. See, we'll work through this stuff. Give me a little bit of time. We'll get it figured out. Yeah, we don't need... Well, actually, in this case, maybe we do need stack inserters on the output. Because this thing crafts in about 1/1000th of a second. Okay. Yeah, I think we're starting to get a little bit better here. A little bit, not a lot. All right, so let's look at some more long-term results. Yeah, look at that. Almost 500 a minute. And much less than 500 a minute on some other things, but high-tech science seems to be doing quite nicely for itself, and maybe that's because it's so close to the storage chests. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what we can do with another level or two of robot speed. I'm going to work on that. Thank you again for watching. If you have any suggestions, please don't keep them to yourself. Let me know what you think. And thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.